Hello, my dear students and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 22 of a 53-part series of tutorials in system analysis and design. In this presentation, we shall look at the components of system design. My name is Mehmet JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. This is a continuation of the topic by the title, Identify Essentials of System Design, or simply put, Perform System Design. So we are looking at a subtopic by the title, Components of System Design. In system analysis and design, the components of system design represent critical quality attributes and performance expectations that determine whether a system merely functions or truly delivers institutional value. Within a TVET institution, for example, where systems such as Student Information Management System or SIMS, e-learning platforms, finance systems, and examination processing systems are integral to operations, these components guide how a system is structured, evaluated, and sustained. Among the most fundamental components are quality, timelines, and cost effectiveness. Together, they determine the technical soundness, operational efficiency, and economic viability of any designed system. Effective system design is evaluated based on those three components which guide design decisions and trade-offs throughout the design process. These components operate together. A system delivered quickly but with poor data accuracy lacks quality, while a highly accurate system delivered too late or at excessive cost fails to meet organizational expectations. This triangular relationship between quality, cost, and time guides practical system design decisions. These components of system design can therefore be illustrated as follows. We have quality, cost effectiveness, timeliness, and we rotate around that. So any system that is designed should be able to possess the three components at the same time. It must be cost effective, it must be developed on time, and it must be of the right quality. Let's look at each of these components separately, beginning with the quality. Quality refers to the degree to which the system satisfies both functional and non-functional requirements, including accuracy, reliability, usability, security, and performance. It is the degree to which the system is accurate, reliable, secure, usable, scalable, and maintainable. A high-quality design minimizes errors, supports consistent operation, protects sensitive data, and allows for future enhancements. Poor quality, on the other hand, design decisions made at this stage are often costly and difficult to correct during implementation or operation. A well-designed system is easier to build, easier to test, easier to use, and easier to maintain over its lifestyle or over its life cycle. Therefore, system design quality is commonly evaluated using three core components, which are quality, timeliness, and cost effectiveness. In a student registration system, quality is reflected in the correctness of student records, validation of course selections, prevention of duplicate registration, and the ease with quality in system design, which refers to the degree to which a system satisfies both stated and implied requirements. It goes beyond basic functionality to encompass reliability, usability, security, maintainability, and performance efficiency. A system demonstrates functional quality when it performs required tasks accurately and consistently according to specifications. For example, in a TVET environment, a student registration module must correctly validate entry requirements and prevent ineligible admissions. Reliability ensures the system performs consistently over time without frequent failures, particularly during peak operational periods, such as examination result processing. Usability, on the other hand, focuses on the ease with which users interact with the system. Lecturers, for instance, should be able to upload continuous assessment marks without requiring technical intervention. We have security. Security is equally critical, especially in educational institutions where sensitive academic and financial data must be protected through role-based access control and encryption mechanisms. Maintainability ensures that the system can be modified or upgraded with minimal disruption, particularly when curricula change or new regulatory requirements are introduced. Achieving quality requires systematic requirement analysis, adherence to modeling standards such as UML and DFDs, structured validation processes, and alignment with recognized quality frameworks such as ISO/IEC 25010. Ultimately, quality reflects the principle of fitness for purpose. That is, a system is considered high quality when it effectively meets user and institutional needs over time. Let's now look at timeliness. Timeliness in system design refers to the system's ability to deliver services, information, and processing outcomes within required time constraints. It encompasses both the timely completion of the system development project and the operational responsiveness of the deployed system. Timeliness ensures that both the design process and the resulting system meet organizational time requirements. The system must be delivered within the planned schedule, and it must also provide information at the right time during operation. It refers both to the delivery of the system within the planned schedule and to the system's ability to respond quickly to user requests. A semester registration system, for example, must be operational before the academic term begins and should display confirmation messages within seconds to avoid congestion during peak periods. In a MLSWAP school context, this includes timely release of examination results, the real-time registration confirmations, and the prompt generation of management reports. Design choices such as system architecture, database optimization, and workflow automation directly affect timeliness. Therefore, in a TVET institution, delays can disrupt admissions, examinations, reporting cycles, and regulatory compliance. From a development perspective, timeliness requires adherence to project schedules and the effective application of project management techniques such as Gantt charts and parity chart analysis. A system intended to manage online admissions, for example, must be fully operational before the intake period begins. Operational timeliness, on the other hand, relates to system response time and information availability. When a student makes a fee payment, for example, the system should update the financial status immediately to avoid administrative bottlenecks. Efficient database design, optimized algorithms, adequate server capacity, and realistic implementation planning are essential design considerations to ensure timely system performance. A system that produces accurate results but fails to deliver them within the required time frame undermines institutional effectiveness and decision making. What about cost effectiveness? Now, cost effectiveness represents the economic dimension of system design and refers to achieving system objectives at an optimal cost over the system's life cycle. It ensures that the benefits derived from the system justify the cost of development, implementation, operation, and maintenance. Cost effectiveness measures whether the system is developed, implemented, and maintained within budget or delivering acceptable value. It involves optimal utilization of resources, such as reusing existing servers, open source software platforms, or previously trained ICT staff instead of acquiring expensive proprietary solutions unnecessarily. It is assessed through financial evaluation methods such as cost-benefit analysis, return on investment, and the total cost of ownership. In public debate institutions where financial resources are constrained, cost effectiveness becomes a decisive factor in system approval and sustainability. Development costs include hardware acquisition, software licensing, developer remuneration, and consultancy services, while operational costs involve maintenance, upgrades, user training, and infrastructure support. Indirect costs, such as downtime losses and resistance to system adoption, must also be considered. The benefits of a well-designed system may include reduced paperwork, improved data accuracy, enhanced reporting efficiency, and better compliance with the regulatory requirements. For instance, an investment in a digital attendance monitoring system may reduce ghost student reporting, improve funding accuracy, and decrease administrative workload, thereby generating long-term institutional savings. Cost effectiveness does not imply minimizing expenditure at the expense of quality. Rather, it involves optimizing value. A poorly designed low-cost system that frequently fails may incur higher long-term costs than a moderately priced but robust solution. Therefore, designers must consider hardware costs, software licensing, development effort, training, and long-term maintenance. In publicly funded MLSAP school institutions, for example, financial constraints are significant, and system design must strike a balance between technical sophistication and affordability while still meeting essential requirements. These three components, which are quality, timeliness, and cost effectiveness, are interdependent and must be balanced during system design. Excessive focus on minimizing cost may compromise quality, while overly ambitious quality expectations without proper schedule control may result in delays and budget overruns. Therefore, effective system design requires managing the classical project constraints of scope, time, and cost in a way that produces a reliable, timely, and economically sustainable solution. Within a Tibet institutional context, a well-designed system is one that performs accurately, delivers information promptly, and operates within acceptable financial limits while supporting long-term strategic objectives. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of part 22 of the series. Let's meet in part 23 of 53, in which we are going to learn about the inputs of system design. Congratulations for learning part 22 of 53 on the components of a system design in Perform System Analysis and Design course. You can access the rest of the parts in the series as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on MLSWAP ICT YouTube channel below this video. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube, that is just directly below this video. If it's not currently reading as subscribed. If you would also like to join this channel so that you can be able to receive hand-in-hand or one-on-one additional support from the trainer or the producer, you can click on join button in this channel just below this video and then follow the prompts and respond appropriately. For any further correspondence, kindly write to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me. Let's meet in part 23 of the series, and God bless.